Hi, I'm John Goodrich. I'm port captain for 2023 at Southwestern Yacht Club. And today I'm here to answer questions that people have that are new members to our club about how to obtain a slip at Southwestern Yacht Club. The process is relatively straightforward. Of course, you will find when you're first issued your roster, the rules regarding dock assignments and the rules that we are governed by when it comes to assigning dock space to members at Southwestern Yacht Club. Any member who is a regular member, a flag member, or a life member can fill out a request form for a slip assignment at Southwestern Yacht Club. The form is obtained at the front desk at the yacht club. The member is asked to fill out the form completely at the top, and very importantly, also the slip size that they're applying for. Once this form has been filled out, it is then submitted to the front desk so it can be processed by the port captain's assistant and then entered into our computer system. So you would return your slip to the front desk and they will take that information and get it into our system as quickly as possible. After this form has been processed, you will eventually find your name, including what is called a priority date, on our wait lists. Those wait lists are also located next to the front desk in the yacht club. You will be given what is known as a priority date. A priority date is either the date that you fill out the written request for a slip assignment at the club, or if you already have a slip assignment, your priority date will be the date that your boat is splashed into one of our wet slips at the yacht club. From that point forward, your priority date will govern your ability to move within the slips, which we'll discuss in just a moment. After you have actually gotten onto the wait list, your name and your boat information and your request is actually going to be displayed on the wait lists, which are in the glass cabinet towards the front reception area of the club. Each one of the slip sizes that we have, which range from 24 feet to 70 feet, are listed. There is a date that is called your priority date that we discussed before, and that priority date is going to be the date that you filled out the paperwork requesting a slip or the date that a boat was splashed in the water. It's very important that your priority date be accurate. Members are asked to make sure that their priority dates are accurate, and if they suspect they're not, the staff will be happy to investigate the file to see if in fact your correct priority date is in your file. Next to the priority date will be your name. After your name, the details of what are called the effective date, which is 30 days after the document is submitted to the front office, followed by boat length, boat beam, and also information concerning whether or not it's a power or sailboat. And then lastly, there is a column that is delineated COM, which stands for Certificate of Measurement. It'll either say yes or no, or possibly be blank. That indicates whether or not we have a current certificate of measurement for the member so that we can best assign the boats into our marina spaces. Next to the active wait list, you'll also find that we have a column that is called the exchange list. The exchange list is for members that already have boats assigned to slip assignments at the club based on their size. So we'll use the example of a 36-foot slip. If a member already has a 36-foot slip here at the club and they have a boat in that slip, they are allowed to actually apply to be considered to be placed into a specific slip or specific group of slips at the yacht club. In order to accomplish that, they'll fill out that same status information change request form that they obtained from the front desk. They then indicate which option they would like to be considered for as far as a slip assignment goes. So if a person says that they really want to be within a group of 5 different slips on F dock, they can indicate that they would like to be considered for slip assignment to F1 through F5. As long as that is a 36-foot slip, they'll be able to actually request that on the exchange list. What you cannot do is be on the 36-foot slip assignment and request a transfer or exchange into a 70-foot slip. That doesn't work because slip exchange requests are only size for size. 36-foot for 36-foot, or if you have a 70-foot slip assignment currently, 70-foot for 70-foot. That is how our exchange lists work. Now, one of the questions that is most often asked either on the active wait list or on the exchange list is, hey, I was number 1 and now this month I see that somebody has jumped ahead of me. In the case of an active wait list, not the exchange list, but the active wait list, that means that a person has come off of the inactive wait list with a higher priority date than you have, and that has allowed them to leapfrog to the top of the list for consideration of assignment in a slip. It is not an unusual event to take place at the club, and you shouldn't be surprised that it happens. And that's why it's very important to make sure that you check your priority date on a regular basis to make sure that our records and your recollection are in fact documented properly in your file. Okay, so when members are trying to bring boats into the club, it's very important that the boats actually fit into the slips that are most appropriate for the size of the vessel. The mere fact that you have a vessel that is 30 feet long does not necessarily mean that it's going to fit in our 30-foot slips. Our slips were designed years ago when boats had predominantly different dimensions, and over the years boats have frankly gotten wider. Length has never really been a problem, but beam or width of your boat is potentially a problem. And a good example is there are several boats now that say that they are 30 feet in length, and they would fit into a 30-foot slip in many other marinas. But in our marina, if that boat is, let's say, got a beam of 14 feet, it is highly unlikely that it's going to be able to fit into one of our 30-foot slips. There's limited exceptions for end ties, but those are very rarely available, especially for a first assignment. When we measure the vessel, there is documentary proof that the vessel that you're bringing into the club has certain dimensions that have been noted in your file. The form that we use is that certificate of measurement form that I had referred to as the COM on the active wait lists. The general rule is that for every slip, except for 70-foot slips, you are allowed to exceed the length of the slip by 5 feet, and your boat can also be 3 feet under the maximum size for that slip. And again, let's use a 30-foot slip as an example. That means the maximum length of a boat in a 30-foot slip at Southwestern Yacht Club could be up to 35 feet. And that doesn't mean your waterline length. That means every single appendage that is attached to your vessel in its normal operating position. We take the furthest point from the stern and we go to the furthest point on the bow. Whatever it might be, davits, bowsprits, anything that's hanging off is going to be part of the measurement. In addition, we'll measure the beam or the width of your vessel, and again, we will measure from the outermost portion of your gunnels as they are in the normal operating position. So if your boat tapers down to a shorter waterline and your beam at the waterline is smaller than your beam, let's say at the top of the gunnels, we're going to use the gunnel length to determine the beam of your vessel. Okay, so you've been watching your name on the active wait list rise further and further and further up the list, and you're getting excited. Everyone's getting excited. In fact, the front office is also noting that different members are ready for assignments. Now, before you are actually offered your official slip offer from the port captain, we will generally try to contact you in advance to advise you that it is likely in the next month or two that you could be given the official offer in writing from the yacht club for an interim slip assignment from the port captain. If you are ready to act and you have a boat that you can put into that slip within 60 days, then you should rest assured that the process is unfolding as it shall normally be expected. However, there are times when people realize that they've advanced up the list at a time when they're not really actually ready to take advantage of the slip assignment. And there is something you can do to try to preserve your priority date. You can actually, before the official written offer is sent to you, you can contact the front office and fill out that status change form that we started the video with and indicate on there that you want to go from the active wait list to the inactive wait list. By doing that, you will keep your priority date and you will be allowed to wait off on the side and then make that lateral move over when you believe that you really are ready for the new assignment. And by doing that, you avoid the consequences that our rules do spell out, that if you do receive the official written offer to accept a slip assignment at the yacht club, if you fail to accept that assignment, you will actually then lose the priority date that you previously had, and you'll be assigned a new priority date, which will be the date that the offer that you declined was made to you. So what you can do to be proactive and preserve the best priority date you have is make sure that you pay attention to how far up on the list you are rising, and also make sure to monitor your email, your voicemail, and your text messaging for any message that you might be getting from the front office as a courtesy to let you know that slips are in the size that you've made a request for are being potentially offered within the next month or two.